Romancing the Dungeon is intended for mature audiences, as this show contains adult themes, but not like those kind of adult themes, just sensitive stuff that some audience members may find upsetting. Content warnings for specific episodes can be found in episode descriptions.
Tell me why I'm so alone when I know you're here with me.
You're listening to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast about heroes navigating their daily lives while looking for love in a world full of peril, monsters, and heartbreakers. Previously on Romancing the Dungeon.
Dear Mr. Jaggers, Estrella LouiseCael here. I assume all is coming along well with my efforts to contest that sham of a will left by my sister. May the gods rest whatever traces of a soul that heartless creature actually once possessed. As I've said before, it's wildly inappropriate for those two little cherubs to have to shoulder the burden of running that awful den of immorality. Side note, that's a neat new name for the pub. Can you look into changing that for me as well? I've stumbled onto some new evidence, and even got a confession. While me and my gorgeous wife and our band were en route to Galeshire for that job, and they told me to be more discreet about my illegal activities, so don't worry, I won't lay out my plans to rob Galeshire Bank here again. We bumped into Nate. Well, not Nate. It's complicated, but those boring people he hangs out with, Haphazard, Oldie, Fianna, and some new twunk, they've explained that Nate, much like his mother, is dead, and now someone else is in his body. They are going to Galeshire to testify to the king or something. I wasn't really paying attention, but get this. One of them confessed to destroying my brand new fortress that I should have inherited, so I'd like you and your business partner, Mrs. Tulkinghorn, to begin legal proceedings against these people, but mostly Fiat. In other news, we've made it safely to the city, and thankfully we were able to ditch Not Nate and his gang of goons before anyone saw us. I've got a meeting with the demolition expert, and they're getting the explosives ready for the bank heist. So while the girls are warming up for their big debut, Beth and I will be knee-deep in crime. And money. Yours in litigation, Estrella LouiseCael. Soon to be owner of the Den of Immorality, formerly known as the Copper Rabbit. Those bollockses won't know what hit them. We're gonna be so rich. Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty. Dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Greypurse, founder, CEO, and love wizard. And following a complaint from a total narc, apparently my thesis as an undergrad doesn't qualify me for doctorship. And to prevent any further confusion, and because they've said there will be another tribunal if I don't, I, Roz Greypurse, being of sound mind and voluptuous body, would like to say sorry for any confusion or hurt I caused Michigan University staff by inferring that I was a doctor. It will never happen again. And you can forget about that date, Artemis, you uptight stick in the mud drawer shite. Moving swiftly on, back to work, and it's about time you tell me, what do you think is the most important thing to have in common with someone you're dating?
Love. Love, I think you need to both love each other, a love for which you would watch the world burn to defend, and let the rivers run red with passion.
Oh, some things I don't know, I can't go there. Can you say that again? Just like 1 or 2 octaves lower.
I'll think about it.
Let's save that one for later. It's been about 3 weeks since you all arrived in Galeshire. I was just about to say Tezrab. Oh, I miss Tezrab. Let's go back there. Let's go back there. Things were simpler in Tezrab.
Yeah. Were they?
Things were less big in Tezrab. You were promised by the royal advisors an itinerary of places to go, people to meet, things to do, things to see, things to visit. And it's been 3 weeks of that. It's been 3 very long weeks of engaging, informative, overloading of Galeshire factoids. You all know something about Galeshire that you didn't know yesterday. And Aegelius seems to be able to prattle these things off with some sort of encyclopedic knowledge. It's as if he's had some dossier on the city and he's read it and committed it to memory.
I just grew up here. That's everyone knows stuff about their city. Like how the bridge is the same way one way or the other way. It's the same length. Everyone knows that little fact.
Yep.
You all do now. There's been no word from Riti or Marigold or anybody from the council or the king's office as to when the appointment might possibly be submitted for review before a date is set for you then to maybe meet the king to possibly testify in front of him as to regarding the events of Weird 2-4 Tezrab and everything else that happened after that. The novelty of the city is kind of beginning to wear off. Your every move is watched, not only by Aegelius, but the city guards are constantly there. You turn a corner, you try to dip behind an apple stall, you try to dip under an apple stall. A lot of apple stalls for Ivan. They're there. They find you. It's like a really long game of hide and seek. The only one that seems to be getting any sort of buzz or enjoyment out of the excursion around the city is Fia, who's lapping it up and committing things to her journal, committing things to her memory. Cael, it's great. Yeah, I know this. I'm from here. Can I go back to my apartment? And you've been told, unfortunately, that your place is, people know Cael lives there, so it's, throngs of people. Like, I'd love to meet throngs of people, but you're not allowed. Hephaesta, you visited before. There's a couple of old haunts, a couple of old pubs, and there's the pressing matter of Dahlia and where she is and her ultimate fate that you've been desperately trying to uncover. Since the nightmare in Littlehorn, you've not been in contact with her. She's not visited a dream. You have had no contact with Morag. And Ivan, for you, that sensation, that desire to go to the mountains, to be part of it, to climb them, to fuck that dragon, whatever it is that we're all getting to, it's only gotten stronger. There's something calling you into the Dragon's Back Mountains. Any pleas or requests to have a day off or maybe replan the itinerary? No. You have had the luxury and the option to go shopping. You've been able to visit blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, and some of you have gone out of your way to get some new equipment. Cael, new sword?
For the absence of Nate, he might pick up a rapier.
Okay.
And he will also pick up a glaive.
Okay.
Lovely.
Sorry, no. Halberd. Halberd glaive? Halberd glaive. What do we feel? What do we feel about halberd glaive? You like a glaive? Okay, we'll go glaive.
The team votes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you've picked up 2 new weapons, 2 new shiny weapons that were immediately confiscated. You don't need them. You've got AJ. You've got a guard. They'll be there. They're there. You can have them, but you don't really want to be walking around the city with a glaive. That would be weird. And Hephaesta, you've gone and visited an armory. That's the word. I said it. I said it like
armor.
that. An armor. You've visited an armor. It was lovely. And you've picked up, for once, some armor. And again,
It's custom fitted though. Like it still looks really good.
yeah, it took a couple of days. You wear it under your clothes. They're fine with that. 3 weeks pass. And it's the same routine every morning. You are cheerful knock at the door from Aegelius. And it's always Cael, Ivan, Hephaesta, and Fia's door last. and you're summoned down for breakfast. You have a meal. You can have literally anything made for you by the kitchen staff. All your meals are taken in a private room. You are not joining the guests in the main restaurant. There, you are presented with your itinerary for the day. A guard arrives, hands it to Aegelius. All of these things are planned for you and for him by someone in the council, in the long network of bureaucracy, at the request of the king's advisors and the council. As you make your way down for breakfast this morning, AJ's there, waiting, but the guard is late. There's no sign of him.
I'm sure he'll just be a moment. Help yourself. By the time we're finished breakfast,
Yeah, sure.
I might. It's unusual. I might go look for him. So I'll meet you back here when you're. I've already eaten, so.
Bright and early, you like to...
Yeah, get the morning routine in.
Yeah.
Swim in the river. Fire hours into the wind.
Yep.
Press ups, push ups.
Stretches.
Mm-hmm. And then sacred pies around the city.
Have you kept up with your stretches, Ivan?
No.
That was the only one he ever needed to do.
And done.
Oh, I feel like a new man.
I am.
Ivan.
Yeah, we'll be here. Yeah.
Just be a jiffy, I suppose.
Yeah, go, look, take your time, Just do what you gotta do.
We don't want to miss the first stop. Otherwise, I spend the whole day just trying to catch us up, and then you miss important information. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Right, so hurry along, I guess.
I'm already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and AJ slips out of the room, closes the door behind him very, very gently, and the four of you are left alone for the first time in 3.5 weeks.
It's kind of look at each of them one at a time, and I'm like, so are we gonna...
Yeah.
What?
Oh, hell yeah.
What?
You should wait here.
What?
You should wait here,
What?
and I'm just gonna run back to my room for 2 seconds.
No, we can't. We all have to wait here.
I'm coming right. I just forgot a thing of mine in my room.
You promise?
And I'll see you in a bit. And
Yeah, I'll come help you look.
start
Hephaesta!
sneaking out the room.
What?
Sneaking
Ivan,
away.
I'm gonna go help Hephaesta.
she doesn't need help. She's able. She's
Yeah,
a
but
big.
I'm-
Ivan, can you help me? And also maybe Kyle.
What?
Can you help?
Well, I'll make sure she comes back
Then why do you need Kyle too?
because he'll make sure I'll come back.
I should go to make sure you all come back.
Well, no, you have to
But
stay
then
for
nobody
AJ.
will be here.
Be quick.
Yep.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a rube.
You're still in the room.
What was that? What'd you say?
Be right back.
See you.
Same word twice.
Is there? Do we have our equipment in our room? Like we just weren't allowed to bring it out with us.
Yeah, you're told to kind of leave. You don't need them. You have a full accompaniment of the guards. You've got AJ. You don't need to be carrying weapons with you. Your stuff is left behind.
I do run back up for my weapons and stuff then.
Okay. Heading for weapons?
Yes.
All of you?
Yes.
No, he probably won't get all his weapons. He'll probably leave his shield, and he will bring the rapier, but not the glaive, because it seems like a little much.
Yeah.
Doesn't go with my shoes today.
Okay. You retreat to your respective rooms, gather what you need. And in the fastest time this group has ever managed to prepare for anything, in this case it is a grand escape out of the clutches of bureaucracy and scheduled fun time, you make a dash for the front door. With no AJ, the guards don't really pay kind of attention. They're Aegelius is the one they kind of acknowledge him. You're always wearing hoods. As these three of you kind of do that, like, and break, it's just that, like, farewell, and gone. You all kind of book it in different directions. Ivan.
I'm gonna go to the mountain, so I'm gonna stop and rent a horse.
Okay. You there. Stop. Rent me that horse. That's how it works now. You've seen there's a couple of places, but the one that Aegelius had pointed out a couple of days previous, again, wasn't part of the scheduled tour,
But he did say that he would put in a request to the council to have it added that you might possibly maybe be able to take a tour of the Galeshire city, either by pony or Pegasi, from Peggy's Ponies. And you've kind of committed the path to memory because you're like, oh, I'll need to rent a horse or a Pegasus horse and try and, maneuver your way. So you're going to head to Peggy's Ponies. You're heading west first, but as you're kind of plodding along with Hephaesta, your paths diverge. Cael, you're heading north towards the night market, it's daytime now, but there are still stalls around and Manaria is usually there. So you all just kind of splinter off your own separate paths as we go through it. As this happens, Fia, you're sitting in the dining room, the private sort of meeting area just off the restaurant, and you can hear the kind of the commotion outside, servers, guests ordering food, sounds from the kitchen coming. Time passes. There's no... Aegelius hasn't returned. He said he'd only be a couple of minutes. It's been a couple of minutes, but maybe he's been delayed. Hephaesta hasn't come back. Ivan, who said he was going to make sure that Hephaesta comes back, has not come back. And Ivan, who said that Cael would make sure that he came back, has also not come back.
Okay, so while I was still sitting in the room waiting, I at the time taking out my journal. I was working on a drawing that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. And then realising, no one is actually coming back, I kind of pack up that bit again and head up towards our rooms to see where they are.
As you're making your way out of the dining area, Parlo, the gentleman who owns the Grand Galeshire Hotel, sees you. Good morning, miss.
Fia, hi.
And you're enjoying your stay so far, miss?
Yeah, it's really, really good, thank you.
Excellent. Your companions seem to have already left.
What?
The tall fellow and the pale fellow and the angry woman, they've...
What? They left?
Oh
no. Oh no. Why did they do this to me? I thought Ivan would have a little bit more sense than Nate, but no, he just seems to actually be the same person. Really?
Miss, your volume, if you wouldn't mind.
I'm sorry, I'm just really stressed right now.
Perhaps I've been mistaken. So many people coming in and out of the hotel. Perhaps check their rooms first.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck.
Language. You're just going to head up. You knock on every room.
Hephaesta.
No answer.
Cael.
No answer.
Ivan, please tell me you guys are in there.
No. Just me, I'm cleaning.
No one's in the room?
No, just me. Well, I'm here. I'm a person.
Okay, thank you. And I turn away from the door and I'm like, those assholes.
Sir, me?
No, not you.
Do you
No.
want to turn down service?
Sure.
Oh, well, I'm turning you down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I just start walking back downstairs, literally just holding my head and just muttering, I can't believe they've left. I just muttering the whole way back down to the ground floor.
As you were waiting and then looking for the others where they might possibly have been, Aegelius, you haven't gone too far from the hotel. Again, they're your responsibility. You're to keep an eye on them, keep tabs on them. You find the soldier, again, just doing a hard lean against a pretzel cart, talking to a rather kind of bashful looking sailor woman. And they, so, you knot these by hand? No, my dad does. I'm just selling the pretzel. Oh, well, you look like you've got great ting. Sir. I was.
Don't want to interrupt your lean. I appreciate a good lean.
And he stands fully to attention. I have to apologize. This citizen, and he's gesturing to the sailor woman. And she's also now kind of half standing to attention. So she's like,
You're fine. You're not part of the squad.
Okay, so she did like a salute, but it was like, oh, sorry.
We work for you. It's the people always mistake that.
Her cart, the wheel, and he points down at it, and the wheel looks a bit rickety. And I helped.
Great. The itinerary, though.
Sorry. Yes. I'm. And he's patting himself down.
Can I insight check just to make sure he's not under some, what I call, hocus pocus? It's a solid 8.
He genuinely looks flustered. Like, you can't tell if has he forgotten it on purpose, or is it he's under the effects of something. He does look flustered. We've
obviously been overworking you, and for that I must apologize. It's a lot of pressure to put on someone. I understand. Here's a Tesrab. Important people.
Here's a Tesrab?
No. There, and he knows them actually. So have a good day, soldier.
Sir. And he salutes. And he kind of looks back at her and he kind of slumps down, and she's like, so the heroes of Tesrab, you know them? You think you could introduce me to Nate? And he's just like, oh, for fuck. It's the wheel.
I'll go back to break the sad news that we don't have an inventory for today, and so I'll have to make one up. But I always carry a backup inventory, so we should be fine. And as I hear some commotion to the north and west for a little bit until it diverges, that's probably nothing.
They're not connected at all. And with that, the tales of Galeshire begin as the 5 of you splinter off to tell your own stories in your own day. We begin with Ivan. This place is huge. I mean, it's been a bit of a din. Why so many people would want to live in such a busy place and loud place and smelly place and so many people place. It's a lot, and it never seems to stop. It's all a little too much. It's only when you find yourself standing in the kind of the green areas, the parks, and the small gardens that are there as like kind of respite places and just breather spaces that you kind of feel a little bit of a connection again and a little bit of moment of calm. The noise doesn't seem to be as loud in those spaces. You're only following a vague memory, like a map you drew in your mind for Peggy's ponies. And you do know it was beside a park. You do know it was to the southwest of the hotel. And you are kind of moving in that direction. You're tracking it by the smell. You're literally tracking it by the smell of it. Like, I smell ponies. I smell Pegasus. And you're kind of following your nose to try and find them. It doesn't take long because there's a cluster of, you see them kind of Pegasi just flying off overhead, or pony and carts, bringing tourists around. So they kind of bottlenecks and filters out. You've kind of found the right spot. And there, nestled at the edge of a green space, you see the stables and courtyard for Peggy's ponies, and a rather delightful looking Ara Corcoran woman just kind of greeting guests and customers, and again getting them a driver or getting them a rider for whatever it might be. And she sees you and she waves over.
Hello.
Morning, hun.
Good morning.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't have my coffee, so.
You don't have coffee. Maybe you could help me with something, please.
What if it's Pegasi or pony related? Peggy can help.
Actually, yes. I would like a horse, please, to rent for the day.
Oh. Have you got a license?
Not on me, but what I do have is, and I pull out that royal seal thing that I have.
Well, isn't that just a lovely little medal? Look at you with your little medal. Afraid it's not a license though, hun, so I cannot let you operate a horse-based vehicle in the city limits.
Well, I don't need the vehicle. Just the horse itself.
The horse is the vehicle, huh?
Where I come from, that we don't really do licenses. I have quite extensive experience operating a horse. I'd happily show you around the stable here if that would put your mind at ease.
Let me put your mind at ease. Where are you looking to go?
Just to the Dragonback mountain.
Oh, you heading on up to the pass? You having a little peruse?
Yes.
It just so happens, Peggy, can take you there. I can be your rider.
That would. I think I could manage it on my own.
I'm sure you can, handsome. But like I said, you haven't got a license.
And how does one go about getting a license? Do I need to pay someone for something, or?
Well, yes, there's a payment. You must put down a deposit. You must deliver evidence of 12 instructed lessons. There's 2 tests, both a theory and practical, that you must complete within a 6-month window. And then it's another 12 months before your license is actually printed. It takes quite some time to get the portraits done.
Okay.
That hurts.
And could you bring me some of the way, and I could leave you behind, and you could wait for me, and then I could go about my business, and then.
You've a trusting face. Peggy doesn't trust it. Fool me once is what I say, and many a man has got me on a horse and then just left me in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I can leave you with the horse, and I can go on foot if that's what you're worried about.
Well, if you want just a one-way trip up to the Dragon's Back Mountains, that's fine by Peggy.
Well, I would like a trip back, but you could just leave me, go about my business, and then I could come back and you could take me.
Well,
home.
I could leave the meter running, and we could just.
Yes, well, again, it's on the palace, so I'm sure they will.
Oh, your little medal.
Yes.
Oh, and she looks at it a little bit closer. Oh well, gee, you big wig, and she gives you kind of a little bit of a push with her wing. You got yourself one of them city seals, huh? You big city slicker boy coming on into Galeshire, huh? Trying to fleece poor Peggy out of a pony. A hard-working young lady like myself. I'm messing with you. Get on the horse. Get on the horse.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I'll just put my arms around you if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a bit of a squeeze. All the ribs are there. You gotta count them first, because many a customer has tried to fleece Peggy for a broken rib or 2.
Wait, so am I holding on to her, or is she holding on to me?
You're sitting at the front of the horse. She's sitting behind you.
So is she ghosting me?
Yeah, giddy up, cowboy.
Right, okay.
So you can see the sights.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For her to take you, you're actually going to have to go back to head to the road that takes you to the Dragon's Back Mountains and the pass. You have to start heading back east towards the older half of Galeshire. So again, she's holding on tight, like she's between her arms and her thighs, like you're fully wedged. People are looking, people are saluting her. People are saying hello to Peggy. Everyone's, seems to know a lot of people, and she's smiling and nodding her head at everybody as they pop along. She looks quite like a blue titbird. Like it's that shiny blue feathers down the long of her head that are quite thick and kind of roll back almost into like a mohawk almost. Some yellow feathers kind of around her mouth, and her wings are a kind of a cream and green kind of color, and like that she's kind of smiling at everybody else. What's taking you up Dragon's Back Mountains?
So as we're going by, I'm gonna just note that I've put my hood up to keep some degree of
Incognito.
Yeah, going incognito.
Pornhub.
I honestly can't tell you.
Oh, because you don't know, or top secret?
I don't know. I just have a strong feeling to go up the dragon's back.
Well, that's between you and the mountain, son. Peggy was just trying to make conversation, and now she feels a little awkward.
Do you know anything about the Dragon's Back mountains?
They're mountains. They're called the Dragon's Back. And they're not particularly safe.
How so?
It's mountains, hon. Mountain lions, mountain tigers, mountain bears, mountain ogres, mountain golems, cave golems, mountain spiders, mountain dragons, the mountains themselves, the weather, bandits, them Visagians. Just generally not a safe place for a sliver fellow like yourself.
I believe I'll be fine.
Oh. Yeah. You got a little bit of a tough streak in you? A little bit of a fighter?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I didn't peg you for that, no? I didn't peg you. Peggy.
Oh, very good, yes. You sure are a card, Peggy.
No, I'm Eric Corcoran. Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
So, much longer to the
Oh,
mountains?
yeah, no. Oh, no, it's going to be at least 2 hours.
Oh,
You know any good jokes?
not really a jokes kind of guy.
Not really a conversation kind of guy either, are you? Nope. No, you're not. You want a bit of a tour of the city? You want me to tell you a couple of things?
No, I'd just like to go straight to the mountains,
Oh, no,
please.
well, we're doing that, but like since we're there, I might as well tell you a little bit about stuff.
If it will make the journey go faster, please. Yes.
No, it won't do that either, but
Okay.
at least you'll know a couple of things about the city, huh?
Funnily enough, I know quite a bit about the
Oh,
city.
do you know? What do you know about the city then? What's that over there?
That is, that's the bridge that is actually, funnily enough, the thing about that bridge is it is the same length one way as it is the other way.
Oh, that's generally how bridges work.
Do you know what? Now that you say it, I actually, I didn't think of that. Yes.
You know what they call the bridge?
The bridge.
Well, close. They call it the Castle Bridge, because it leads to the castle.
Ah, yes.
And we're just about to go under it. And she's looking up over, and the horse is also looking up. She kicks the horse. Now.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this here is the night market. It's day now, but like it's still a day. We still call it the night market. It's a little bit quieter. You can see a couple of stalls are kind of closed. If you're looking for a bite to eat, have you been here? Have you been to the night market? I don't mean to presume, man.
I've not got to stop, but I've been.
Oh, what a shame that is. It's some of the best eating you'll find in all of Galeshire. You'll be eating it here. Also, some of the worst food poisoning. So you really got to pick where you're picking for your fooding.
My food?
Yeah, for your fooding. You know, when you get your food and you put it in. Food in.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That there's Yellow Lane. And she kind of points down at a small kind of little laneway between the night market that leads to another section of the city. Do you know why they call it Yellow Lane?
Is it yellow?
Well, it is after all the piss. It's where you go for piss. You know, you go to the night market. You want too many meads. You have nature calls. Ain't no the toilet's not around. You gotta, you gotta hold. It's just what I call it. I just call it. Yeah, that's where I go for peas.
Okay.
Don't tell the guards you're not supposed to, and don't get caught by the guards either. They'll find you.
Okay.
So we're coming up past there, River Lane. A lot of lovely old houses here. People at River Lane don't really like the night market. Well, they do, but they pretend they don't. It's great. And she kind of points. Now, we're not going to go up that road, but if you go up that road and you keep going up the road, on your left, just after the first 7 houses, there's another house. And it's got lots of gates on the outside of it. The only one with all the gates on the outside of it, you can't miss it. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at that one, that's a haunted house. That's the old executioner's house, that one.
Oh.
Yeah, used to be all choppy. Not in the house, obviously, mind you. That's just where the executioner She lived.
But who's haunting the house?
Oh, well, that's you're all her victims. Well, the criminals that she would choppy.
Okay.
Yeah. They do a mean stew. It's open to visitors. You can go on in. You can go and you can see a couple of the ghosts yourself. Well, they're just actors, acting like ghosts running around. Some of the tourists do say it's very scary though.
I will take your word for it.
Well, like I said, up that. Oh no, we've passed. No, I can't. It's not up that road. That's the other road. The road just behind us back there. You go right up that road. Can't miss it.
Great. Do you normally ride this slow, or is there any way we can?
Oh well, yeah. No, it's city limits. You got to keep the horse down to 1 mile an hour.
What? A lot of rules. A lot of rules these days. What's that about?
Laws? You mean for society and all that?
Yeah, it's quite cumbersome.
Yeah. Well, that's what criminals think. Yeah, criminal there.
Like to think of myself as a free thinker.
Huh. Right, radical are we? Huh? Some sort of revolutionary type. Is that what I've here on me horse? Is it up to the Dragon's Back Mountains there to converse with those Visagians, possibly look at an uprising, rebellion, murdering the king? Is that what we're thinking about doing?
What is a Visagian?
Someone from the kingdom of Visage. Up north. And she points north.
And
that way.
Is there something particularly wrong with the Visagians?
Look, Peggy, look, gold is gold. They're grand. They don't really like us, and we used to not really like them, and all the wars, all the people dying, and now it's grand. They're fine now. And sure, look, they've even got an embassy here and everything like that. Do you want to go see the embassy? It's back that way.
No.
And she starts to steer the horse.
No. And I'll grab the other side.
Right, Jar. Well, sure, you'll
give it a pull.
If you're looking at the top of the Dragon's Back Mountains now, and you've got a clear day. Now, mind you, there's never been a clear day on the Dragon's Back Mountain, but if you got one, you'd see right into Visage.
Just out of interest, Peggy, how long would it take to walk to the Dragonback Mountain?
Oh, if you're walking it now, well, that depends now. If you're walking it and you're walking as the crow flies, about 9 hours.
Okay. Let's just get a move on.
Right. Now we're in Hillview. We're coming up into Yarnborough and Glenborough. They're called Glen and Yarnborough because one of the brothers, the heroes, the 4 heroes of Galeshire, and that was Glen and that was Yarn. Well, no, wait. I'm always getting it mixed up. They're basically the one big district, but they have this notion of themselves that they're all different. I'm pretty sure Yarn's on the left and Glen's on the right. Or is it the other way around? Huh. And she stops the horse for a second and the horse kind of circles back. No, I had it wrong. Yarn is on the left and Glen is on... No, that's what I said, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
I'll ask someone. Hang on a second. I'll ask someone. Lad.
Hadonna, strike me down.
Are we in Yarnborough or Glenborough? Oh, you're not in actually any of the... You're in Hillview. We're in Hillview. Oh. And which one's Yarnborough now? Oh, Yarnborough's that way. And he points just... See, I was half right. It was on... Yarnborough's on the right. No, right. Glen left. Okay. And they're the brothers, and they were heroes.
Okay, Peggy, I need you to focus. I need you to get me to the Dragon's Back Mountain.
We're almost there. I swear we're almost there.
Bet you're wishing for one of AJ's tours now.
So there's a lot of shops along here. Now, I don't really go into a lot of these ones, though, because why would I be bothering? But there's a lot of shops. If you wanted to go in and get some stuff, you get some stuff. There's a greengrocer's there. That fella there is also a greengrocer's. That one there is... Well, it's just a fruit and vegetable shop, but he's different from the greengrocers because he doesn't stock any of the breads and stuff like that. That fella there, you'll get your milk off of. That lady there, it's cheese. No, that's the one stall. No, sorry, they're the one stall. Those two there now, they're actually together. They're brother and sister. They're farmers just outside the town. And so if you're, it's grand. Now, really, this is where I go do my shopping. Mary's Row is where I go do my shopping. We can go. That's just that way. If you want to, we can swing back around. When we're on the way back, we'll swing back around.
I cast command, then I say hurry.
So Mary's Road is just that way. If you go that way, it's going to go really fast. And if you go back up north, we're going to go to the Dragon's Back Peak. And the spa's just there if you go that way. I'm hurrying as fast as I can now. As I speak. We're going to go that way. And there's guards on the way out, but they'll be fine. I got the pass. So you got the seal. We'll be there.
Should have commanded the horse.
She just, as the spell washes over her, she just starts picking up the pace of speech. And she's now rushing through the tour. The horse is just like, Jesus, kill me. But as you maneuver, or as she maneuvers the horse northwards between the long street that's dividing Glenborough and Yarnborough, you do see the mountains looming in the distance. The palace is to your left, and you can see it, but it's drifting. And in comparison to the mountain ridges, you do find yourself getting that sensation, that feeling of getting closer. There's an emptiness in your chest. You make it through the gates that leads to the northeast gate, and immediately there's a sign pointing up to a climbing road, and it literally says Kingdom of Visage, ? Kilometers. And Peggy keeps the horse straight the whole way. The weather today had kind of taken a turn the last couple of few days. It's slowly, like, the temperature's definitely dropping. It's that weird kind of, it's not even sleet. It's just very, very cold rain that kind of clings to you. And even with your hood pulled up, you can kind of feel it. You see her kind of ruffle her feathers as the cold kind of batters her. Outside the city walls, the heat, the buildings, the people, there's something off of that radiates. Outside here, the road is empty, and the cold is that much sharper as it digs into your bones. She continues for another 45 minutes on the horse, telling you about the road, the plans to have the road dug up, reset, then tarmacadammed, but then they can't actually find anyone to get the contract out to get for it, and they're put it out to tender, but then the tender was found to be inaccurate, so they're now waiting for a policy change on that. And but she's put in a petition for herself because she's actually got a cousin who's getting into the tarmac business, and she reckons if she could hold off the tender long enough that he'd actually have the documents ready to be able to get it ready for him, so that he could then submit for a tender and then possibly get the contract for the city, and that would mean the city's contract for the whole roads. But she's digressing, and then she wants to know if you want to go to the spa instead, the Laughing Dragon Spa, because it's just right over there and it's great, it's good for your bones. And then the horse stops as she goes as far up the road as she is comfortable doing so, and you find yourself staring up a long, winding, rocky road that disappears into the mountains.
Peggy.
Yes.
I tell you what, you can leave me here for now, and I will, and then just keep the meter running, and I will be back.
I'll keep the meat running.
Yes. Yes, keep the meat running.
Well, you'll be grand. Now, if you need help, scream, and I'll get a guard.
Great.
You know, it'll be a couple of hours, because I'll have to go back and get a guard. And if you go too far into the mountains, I won't be able to actually hear you. But up to about there, and she just kind of points to where the road swallows into the mountain, I'll probably hear you. But after that, sure, you're on your own. And, well, best of luck to you. I'll be here, the meter will be running, and we'll be charging city by the hour.
Thank you. Yes.
Great.
I will see you soon.
Well, fingers crossed.
I get off the horse. Goodbye.
Good day. You hop off the horse, who is absolutely wrecked, both physically exhausted and mentally. And you continue your journey on foot up along the mountains. The strangest thing is, though, as you follow this road towards the pass, you get the strongest sensation that you are not going in the right direction, and something is telling you that where you need to go is off this road, that you need to actually turn west and clamber up over some of the slopes, that you need to go towards the mountains, like into the mountains, as opposed to cutting through them and around. Give me a athletics check.
That's going to be 6.
This god's damn body. Does he not know what physical things are that weren't sex? Because it's useless. It is scrawny, it is bony, it is slight, it is tiny, it is frail. There's not an ounce of muscle on him, and you have to drag yourself on your hands and knees up the slope. And even with the layers that you've on, you're just not, like, you can feel his body. It's like your mind is going, keep going, you can do it, you can keep going. And your body's going, I'm dead now. Leave me here. Leave me die in the snow. I'm dead. And your brain is about 20 feet in front of where your body actually is. It is exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. And as you make it up the first hill, you see many, many more in front of you. And the climb just starts to feel that little bit too much. Something calls to you from within the mountains. You actually hear someone say your name. It's carried on the wind. And something calls to you.
Hello?
There's no response.
Hello? I keep going.
Pressing on, you are going to have to make a series of checks to try and make it to this destination. There are 5 in total. If you fail more than 3, you have to turn back. The body will not be able to continue on, and you will not reach the destination. You have failed 1. Okay.
Not the body.
Not the body.
Got any spells, magic boy?
Not really, no. I was having a look. Let me just see. I've got... Yeah, so I don't think any of my spells are going to do anything for me.
If you smite yourself hard enough, you might blast yourself up the
Smite
mountain.
myself all the way up, like a ball.
Doing.
I do have the mobile feat, and when I dash, difficult terrain doesn't cost me any extra movement.
Oh.
So just fucking egg it all the way.
Skyrim, like vertically up a mountain.
I'm straight back. I have the charger and the mobile feat, so I can just fucking go for it.
Okay. So you want to push yourself? You're literally going to try and push yourself up.
Well, hold on a minute. I'm feeling I'm feeling things out here. I'm feeling things out. Let's just do my regular rolls.
Okay.
And we'll hope for the best, and I'll figure it out maybe if I get that the last roll, and then fuck it.
So what I'll do, because you have those 2 feats, you won't incur disadvantage on them, but I will start taking health off of you because you are pushing your body beyond its limits. So you're going to have to climb another slope. You can give me a check that you feel is appropriate for it. Athletics is what I'm going to be going to. You're not going to be acrobatically like cartwheeling up the side of the mountain.
Do you have really good acrobatics though?
I know, but like you can cartwheel down it. That won't be a problem. Athletics, survival, nature, anything like that you think you could use.
Look, I've got a +1 on nature, so we'll do
Okay.
nature. Okay, so 19.
Okay. Obviously, the body can't do much. So think with your brain. And it's your brain, not Nate's brain. So Ivan takes kind of a breath and, okay, if I have to climb this, what's the best? Because charging right up it is not going to make sense. So you look for anything in the slope gradient that you might be able to kind of use to your advantage. And there are actually chunks of rock kind of that are exposed out that you could use to kind of like kind of parkour your way up. Like it's literally like just kind of climb up into one rest, climb up to the next rest without having to like, I'm going to lose my grip, I'm going to fall, I'm going to roll, I'm going to tumble. And you make it up over this ridge. And when you do, that sensation, that feeling of the thing is out here, it feels that bit closer. It's like you're almost halfway there. But where you are now into the mountains and you are feeling tired and you're not quite struggling to breathe, you're not climbing up to the tall peaks or anything, you do see a clear sheet of ice, like at the very bottom of the other side of this, like it's a frozen lake.
Like my instincts are to run and slide in a really cool kind of way.
Risky business. It.
Yeah, no, but that's Nate's brain, so it's gonna be just like a very minor shuffles. Like I'm gonna shuffle along the.
Okay. Again, in this case, because you are being more careful in your footing, I'll allow you to roll acrobatics on this one. I was actually going to let you roll acrobatics if you did slide across it, so technically that's acrobatic. But we'll go with shuffling like an old person across the ice.
18 then if I have
Yeah.
acrobatics.
You put one foot on it, and immediately the ice cracks. It just echoes right across, and it splinters out from that point as well. When you put the next foot on, the cracks aren't as severe, aren't as deep, but you can see bubbles of water. This is a fresh layer of ice on top of it, and your first instinct is book it, just run. But that force, that pressure, that quickly, you probably won't make it across. So you go low, and you actually kind of skim or glide your feet along as carefully as you can, and it takes a bit of time. You clear the other side, and as you do, you see a path. It's overgrown, and the way is blocked, but it's a small path carved into the mountain here that seems to snake around the edge of the dragon's back. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
15.
Your first reaction is, I'll follow the path. That makes the most amount of sense. And as you're looking at it, you just feel the wind hit you. And the sky is dark, it's night, and you can hear a woman calling out your name. There's a storm coming, and you have to take shelter, and you're looking, there's nothing. And she finds a place. She finds a small cave. And it's off this road, it's not down the path, and you look, and your head turns, and again, there's it looks like a dip, like a drop. At first, where maybe the path collapsed or was brushed away in an avalanche or whatever, but you remember it, and you drop down, and as you round the side here, you see a large boulder blocking an entrance to a cave, and what's calling you is inside.
I'm just going to attack it and then like do a rapier attack and then also thunderous smite.
Okay, give me an attack.
My God, if I get a fucking natty 1. Oh Jesus! I mean, it's a rock. I can't miss it. Like I'm right in front of it. +6, so 9.
Okay. I mean, you're gonna hit it. So it's down to damage.
Okay, so cast you first.
I mean, does rock have armor? I'll just check that. While you're doing that, I'll just check it.
Oh my God.
Pay for your
And then I think it's a D8 for the rapier.
Yeah, rapier's D8.
No, I'm not going to take D&D dice, even though I got 2 6s. But oh, that's still good. So a 5 and a 6 on the thunderous smite, and then 10. So you're talking 21 points of damage on the rock.
It's not so much that you stab it with the rapier. It's not going to pierce it, but with the hilt, you just hammer it against the rock, and it takes a couple of hits, but you see it splintering, and the thunder is echoing throughout it. As that's happening, you see and you hear rocks and huge frozen balls of ice and snow just kind of roll around you, and as you keep hitting it, that gets louder, and then a sheet of ice cracks somewhere up above you, and you see an entire chunk of the mountain begin to slide and roll. On the final hit, the rock splinters wide open, and a gust of air rushes out at you, and it is warm. Immediately, you step in as the cascade of snow and ice and rock slams in, burying the ridge, and some of it follows you in behind. But it doesn't matter, because you're in here, but you're not at this time. The cave lights up, and there's laughing just echoing all around you. And when you turn and look over your shoulder at the entranceway, standing there just holding a hair upside down, you see Hadana, and she's smiling at you, and she moves past, and you're kind of half undressed and trying to light a fire, but the fire is damp, and like she rolls her eyes, not in a dismissive way, but it's like, oh, Ivan, and she helps you light the fire, and you make a stew from the hare and kind of what rations you've left and some of the ice and snow to boil it away. And the two of you, for warmth, get close and you huddle together under blankets. And the storm rages on for 3 days and 3 nights. And that entire time, the two of you were here in this cave, at this place, at this time. And on the 4th morning, with the sun breaking and the light coming in through the cave, you are awoken to sound of stone clattering against stone. And you see Adonna at the back end of the cave where you had found a small waterhole. It wasn't a hot spring, it was cold, it was refreshing, and you had dared to even attempt to skinny dip in it. That thought lasted all of 20 seconds before she came shrieking out of it and you followed right after her, and the pair of you giggling. But you find her crouched next to it, a rock in hand, and you just see her carving in the letters I plus H, and she has scarred a heart around them both. And then you hear a dripping of water, and you're brought to your senses, and your hands are on the wall, and you're touching the letters, and you're standing in the dark.
Yeah, I'm just smiling, and tears sort of streaming down my face, and I just look up and I say, I still love you, and I miss you. I hope to see you again soon.
The words just echo around the cave, and just as they begin to diminish, faint lights begin to glow all around you, and the cave just lights up entirely. And you just feel this warmth all around you. And you just hear, I love you too. Gain a level.
No, absolutely not. No.
Fuck this.
Anyone else? Yeah, no. No.
As
You made me lose a level. You can't give him a level.
I didn't make you lose a level.
Fuck made me lose a level.
you did make it lose a level.
Back, it's fine. Did you get it back?
No.
Even better.
You can do that after. But there's just a hello.
I know.
Hello?
Are you alright?
Peggy?
The one and the same. You're not dead.
No.
Avalanche didn't get you.
Nope.
But you didn't come back.
I'm on the way.
Well, no, you're buried in there. I've got some soldiers coming. They're going to start digging you out. They're saying they're looking for you.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
Oh. Criminal. I knew it. Rebel. Gotcha. Visagian. Oh, you're in big trouble. Peggy's got herself a rebel. Huh? They love this.
You got me pegged. Cut to black. Next.
Do I? Now I do. Yeah, you hear the sounds of shovels scraping against snow and ice and stone. And standing outside, there are a few disgruntled-looking guards, kind of like wagging their fingers. It's like, oh, you! Why'd you do that? Peg's also doing the same thing, and it's like, did I do that? And
Ain't I a stinker?
Ivan, you are promptly escorted back to the city of Galeshire and the Grand Galeshire Hotel. You've been listening to Romancing the Dungeon with Sam, Amber, Louise, James, Ben, and me, Declan, your Dungeon Master. We're back in 2 weeks' time for another episode. In the meantime, if you like what you heard, we are asking fans of the show to, on whatever platform you're listening to us,
maybe leave us a review. 5 stars would be appreciated. A comment or two. But whatever platform, if you wouldn't mind giving us a very, very quick review, we would really, really appreciate that, because that is going to help us with our reach. In the meantime, don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at D8 Dungeon on all of the big platforms. For our actual plays and live streams, the Ballad of the Kings and Random DMs, don't forget to check us out on twitch.tv/D8 Dungeon every second Monday and every second Thursday. As always, a big thank you to Ghost of Red Mountain for our theme song, Haunted, and Ralph is Redacted for our title card. This is the third time I've tried to say title card, and I came out title. Our title card and artwork. We are back in 2 weeks' time. Stay safe, and we will see you then.
You were promised by the royal advisor. God, I can't. Why do I words? It just hurts.
It's like point.
Oh, do you want a magical item? Do you? Oh, this is why you don't get any.
I'll do it again if you give me much glory.
It'd be good if you give me what I want.
Give you a crack over there with that paperweight. Be real magical then.
My paperweight.